You know what a lot of people have learned during COVID-19? A lot of y'all done learned that don't nobody want your kids but you. Now, I hate to say it like that, and I know it kind of sounds strange when you hear it to some of you all. And I say those that it sounds strange to are the narcissistic parents with the parental vanity that think that because it's their child, that their child is so much more special than everybody else, that the kindergarten teacher that's been teaching for 20 years, if she calls you and tells you something about your child or compliments your child, she just crazy about your child. She just wants your child. You know, Miss Jones has been teaching for 25 years, but your little Susie comes through class and she just wants your child. No. We have a calling on our lives to work with children. And what we see is the anointing in that child that we have been ordained to pull out or to work with. And so when I see a child, because I have that calling on my life, is I'll see a child and I'll say, and I'll just hear it just in my head, this child is going to speak before millions of people. You need to get her to not be afraid to speak up. This child is going to go through something in life where she's going to be silenced. We got to teach her how to be an advocate for herself. And so that is what we are drawn to. And so it's really good that COVID hit the way that it did. Not that people passed away, but that parents had the opportunity to sit with their children and to realize that all of these aunts and uncles and grandmothers and fathers, that a lot of the parents and mothers that folks are jealous of, thinking that they're trying to take their baby, like a lot of these young mothers that think that their child's father's mother is trying to take their kid, is realizing, okay, COVID-19 hit. You need a babysitter, but Big Mama's over there saying, no, you know, I can't risk it. I'm at high risk, so I can't have the kids over there. And so then you realize that, wait a minute, you know, I feel this way about my child because I'm supposed to, because the child came from your body. You're supposed to feel like that. So those of us who work with kids, even if we have kids, your child is your child. And then if they have a child, their child is their child. So in the context of my anointing and when I work with children, I'm just very happy that I don't have to be concerned with making sure that they eat, that they have a place to sleep, that, you know, that's the parent's responsibility. My job is to pour into them these other things that they need that the parents sometimes don't even recognize. And some of you all that work with children, do you sometimes look at folks' kids and you're like, if the parents knew who they were raising, they would be intimidated. And as I get older and start to see some of these kids that I knew were going to, you know, speak before millions, that were anointed, and these kids start stepping into their callings, the parents are like, you know, had no idea, but I always knew on the inside that this is what I need to teach them before they grow up and transition out of my program. And, you know, if somebody wants to work with your kid or they take an interest in your kid, you know, think of it in those terms. Don't think it in terms of somebody trying to take your kid, because if people wanted to have kids, everybody can get a kid. You know, everybody you can adopt, you can, you know, find a relative's kid and take care of them and raise them. Nobody wants your child in particular. We want to work with them on their calling because it is our job and our anointing to work with them on that particular calling. So, you know, I'm going to end it at that and just say that, you know, now as we get out of COVID-19, this is the time to start thanking teachers, thanking teachers, and start thanking other people who have worked with your children to realize that they're in their lives for a reason and a season, not because of you and not because you need childcare or babysitting, but because it is ordained for that adult to be in your child's life, caring about a child that has nothing to do with them, that they're not even supposed to meet because they're not blood. So if somebody is brought into their life and they're working with your child, you know, you need to really think about why that's happening and separate the anointing and the calling to work with your child's anointing. Separate that from this idea that people just want to take your kids from you, because quite frankly, don't nobody want your child, taking care of them, feeding them, taking care of them for the rest of their life. Nobody don't want your children, but in that way, but you.